Yo, here we go. We're going to go over some character racials and classes that will help you make gold. Let's take a look at them. We're going to analyze them together. So let's get into it. Alright. Human racials. Humans have some pretty slick racials. Wow, that's a goofy mustache on that guy, but I'm not going to hate on that. I'd rock that. Anyways, human racials. One of them is diplomacy, 10% extra reputation gains. Pretty sweet. Human spirit is also pretty sweet. It's 2% extra secondary stats. You know, I'm not sure if that's in the game anymore. It doesn't show on here, so I wouldn't trust it. So 10% extra gains, rep gains for this guy, the humans. Pretty sweet. Is it useful for the Garrison 2.0 gold making? No, not exactly. Moving on to dwarves. Dwarves racials. None of these racials are going to help you make gold in this Garrison 2.0 setup. Moving on to night elves. Night elves have a very specific niche that could benefit you. You could make a night elf druid that can sneak around into dead mines and talk to Cookie and eat Cookie's food and disengage from Cookie by going into Shadow Meld. Shadow Meld will cloak your character and it'll disengage from the boss mechanic. So you can sell the blood cards that you farmed out and you're trying to open, and you can re-engage more cards from the mailboxes and the guild bank. It's pretty niche. Druid also has a benefit of the flying is free for Druid, so as you're leveling, the mounting will cost you a little bit of less gold on the front end. Not bad. Gnome has engineer. Will give you plus 15 to engineering. It's okay. It's not amazing. It also has nimble finger, which will give you plus 1 to haste. Plus 1 to haste will make your card opening a little bit faster. It's okay. Drainaze. Draineye, Draenei. Anyways, gem cutting. They got plus 10 to jewel crafting. It's okay to get that first 10 levels, but it's just 10 levels. It's not critical. Doesn't really matter. It's not. This class is. Most of these are mediocre. Worgens have skinning plus 15. Again, gives you 15 to start out with, and gives you a little bit of boost to get started. The speed increase is not bad, but the more time you're spending in the world running to get more skins and things like that is the less time you're just collecting gold. So for an active playstyle, skinning may be pretty good. Pandarian, this one is worth talking about for a minute. It's got something called Inner Peace. Inner Peace will give you receive twice as much rested experience. What this means is you will gain you will gain rest 2 times faster, and you will have 2 times the amount of rested experience of a regular character. It does not mean every kill gives you 200% rested experience. It just makes your rest go longer. It's not bad. Additionally, it can be a death knight, which is real sweet. Starts at level 10. Alright, these ones get a little bit interesting. The allied races. To unlock these, you got to go through a few steps to get there, and some of them are valuable and some of them are mediocre as usual. We got Void Elves. They have nothing to help for the Garrison 2.0. Lightforged Draenei. This, you are able to summon a forge to do blacksmithing, which would be cool if mechanomes didn't exist. Mechanomes are always a forge. as well as some other things. So summoning a forge is cool, but not that cool. What it does have is increased experience gained from killing demons. If you're going to level through Legion, I suggest you use this because you're going to get 20% extra kills, extra experience from your kills as you're playing in Legion. 20% extra experience is pretty sweet. Dark Iron Dwarves has some interesting things. They got move faster indoors. This will give you 4% move speed inside. Pretty sweet. And they also have blacksmithing skill increases the crafts faster. So it gives you 25% crafting speed. And if you're crafting something in bulk, that's pretty sweet. 25% speed adds up very fast if you're crafting 1,000 items. That means you can craft it in 75% of the time that a regular character would. So if you got a big blacksmithing need, Dark Iron Dwarf is a good option. Colterians, these guys are useless to gold making. Mechanomes, these guys are not useless. These guys are the best, actually. Mechanomes and goblins, spoiler alert, are the best too. Mechanomes because the Mechanome has an act as personal crafting station. That means anything you want to craft, this guy works for it. Anvil for blacksmithing, forge for smelting, fire for cooking, all of it. So you can craft at any point. You log into the game and you can start smelting wherever you stand. This is super useful. Additionally, there is a note that says your limbs include every profession tool. What this could be is a free ultimate gnomish army knife. Cool, but it's really like worth 25 gold. It's peanuts. What you're looking for is that forge, that free forge wherever you stand, and that anvil. That saves you a lot of in-game time. And if you're doing a lot of engineering daily crafts or blacksmithing daily crafts, it saves you the temporary anvil cost. Temporary anvil cost adds up over time. The longer you use it, the more you're saving. So that is a quick rundown of all these different races. And let's take a look at these professions. Not professions. These are classes. Wow, I'm going slow today. Need more coffee. Hang tight, we're going to look at classes next. How do classes work for gold making? Well, they don't really. Really, the only things to talk about here are the druids. Okay, who's druid? Jeez Louise. Druids for the mount, free mounts, but that's not that long-term gold making. It's good. It will save you the initial fees for getting your fast flying or your flying, or I'm not really sure. It saves you some money on your mounting. The second one to talk about is the Death Knight. Death Knight does give you some benefits by starting out at level 10. This saves you the 45 minutes that it takes to go through the initial quest to set up any other class. 45 minutes over 45 characters, well, that's a lot of time saved. So level 10 right away is pretty sweet. Additionally, it has free weapon enchants. You can get a Bush League Crusader that does some healing on you, and it's worth picking up. I like the Death Knight. Gives you that 200% rested experience as well. It's a plate carrier armor class, so it shares heirloom items with warriors and with paladins, which I love all three of them basically. So Death Knights is a fun one to play. Ultimately, you're going to want to pick classes that you enjoy to play. Hunters are very strong too, with a pet and casting extra taunts and things like that off of your character, and AoE damage. Pretty easy to level. But if you like mages, go with mages. Make a bunch of mages. Doesn't really matter. You're going to want to make something that you enjoy playing, because you're going to put in a few hours to get these characters set up to get your garrison pumping gold. That being said, we are going to move on. I'm going to go ahead and create a minimum need roster for the crafting and the garrison maximum amount of gold gains that you're going to want. And you're going to want to start out with a bank character. I do like the humans because they get that 10% extra rep gain, so not bad. Go ahead and grab it. Let's see. So when you're setting up your roster, I like to put a singular word as the suffix, and the prefix I like to change up based on the characters. So we'll make this Gargold. Gargold is going to be the last digits of every name. This is Banker Gargold. Banky Gargold, sure, whatever. Appearances don't really matter. The name does. Banky Gargold. But you can randomize the appearances until you find something that's good. Sure. Looks good. Carrying on. I like the humans, so you will have to go through Exile's Reach. It's just faster than going through the regular questing. Go ahead and set up that character and go to the next one. So that's the banker. Let's do another one. Let's do... Your banker's good. You're going to want one enchanter as well. So enchanters don't really matter. You can pick whoever you want. I'll do a druid. Customize. Looks good. Enchant got gold. I do recommend using an older character that has some strength to it for your enchanter so that you can farm out some of the old recipes. This is just setting up a brand new account. Again, Exile's Reach is fastest. Good to go. Then you're going to want some engineers. Engineers? Mechanomes. Come on, man. They function as an anvil and they function as a forge. So you definitely want to go Mechaneer as your engineers. If you don't, if you go with a regular class, then you're going to have to run to a forge every time you want to make things and run to an anvil every time you want to craft. Mechanome does it. You log in, do your craft, log out. Make it easy. So you're going to need two different engineers. You're going to need a goblin engineer. And you're going to need a gnomish engineer. These are two different engineering masteries that you will end up picking up. I'll go into detail on that later on. Got a specific video coming out on how to streamline those engineers. So, now you got your bank, you got your enchanter, you got your goblin engineer, you got your gnomish engineer. Go ahead and make the next one. An engineer and a miner. So you want a miner that is able to smelt you bars. Again, Mechanome. Mechanome is a forge. So you log in, you start smelting on the ground right there. Easy peasy. You don't have to run for it. Something worth saying is that these alternate classes start out at level 10, which is beneficial. These early classes start out at level 1. So the level 1 ones, you want to go through Exile's Reach. The level 10 ones, you can jump right into Warlords of Draenor. So you got your mining engineer set. You're going to need a couple of different alchemists. One of them specifically is going to be your Vial of Sands guy. You don't need to make this guy up front. Later on, you'll end up finding the recipe, and that will turn into your character. And whatever character you find the recipe for Vial of Sands, you want to make this also be a alchemist. So your alchemist is the Vial of Sands recipe, and additionally you want to make the transmutation to flasks and elixirs. This will mean the flasks that you're required to make for the Vial of Sands will proc extra procs as you're crafting them. Might as well make that the mastery so that you don't have to move those around to other characters. Now, you will have to make a new character for alchemy to transmute ghost iron bars to trillium. So, pretty simple. Make a new one, trillium gargold. Alright. Next character coming up is jewel crafting. So, jewel crafting is not specific to what type of character, doesn't really matter. My go-to is Death Knights, Pandas. This character is going to craft all the craftables for jewel crafting, and it's going to shatter ores for you to make gems on the cheap. So, how do you spell gems? With a J or a G? Is it GIF or GIF? Gem gargold. So you got your gem cutter. You got everything else. You're going to want to make a character that is straight up blank. And the reason why you want to make it straight up blank is the card of omens. You want to have a character that will pop open all your cards of omens. So if you want to be sneaky and you want to do the druid thing sometimes, or if you want to just be prepared to have the option, might as well do a druid and make this guy your card opener. You don't want anything in his inventory. You don't want anything on the character, because you want your bags to be open for all the cards of omens that you're going to have. And then the last two is you want a couple of crafters. You want a tailor and crafter with enchanting for crafting all the old world collectibles and the old world farm. So tailoring. That name is restricted. I wonder why. Tailor? Tail gargold. Sure. Then the last one you want to make is a blacksmithing / engineering. Blacksmithing / engineering, again, you want to be your own anvil, make it on a mechanome. You want to be your own forge, make it on a mechanome. It's so simple. So, that's all you really need to start out your primary characters. You need your primary characters. Those characters are going to funnel most of your gold through all those different pieces. And we'll go into detail on all those pieces in future videos. But you're going to want these 10 to start out with. And then from there, just make them in batches. I like making them in groups of 5 or groups of 10. And I like making them in bulk and making the names however you want to make them. So, as you're making those, you go ahead and hold on a second, pause this. Pass. So as you're making those, you build out your first 10, and then you start building out new characters that you want to play. You could do one race, one of each race, to get the heirloom armor unlocked. You can also do all of one class, all of one race, whatever you want to do, whatever you're going to have the most fun playing, might as well go with it. And as you're creating them, about every 10 characters, you want to make 2 characters of a different class, so that when I'll show you. So back to my main account, I have all my 10 main guys up here that do different things. And when we scroll down, we'll start seeing I built a bunch of hunters. I leveled a bunch of hunters because it was easy. And then you want to build 2 extra different classes. What this does is it gives you little breakpoints so that you know how far you are down in your roster. When you're doing your daily clears, you're going to have these as milestones. I know once I get to those, I have about 10 more. So if I am running out of time and I got to go do something else, I try to get to these milestones that I put in the roster. Just a tip, it does help though. Yeah, that's about it. Nothing else really to cover on this. These, I didn't think that this was going to get to 20 minutes. That's my bad. I'm going to try to keep these things streamlined, but it's more information than I expected. If I have to break them out in the future, I will into multiple videos. But this is Just a Dude Gaming, and I'll catch you in the next one.